Welcome to the Hamsi Analytics Daily Market Commentary. I'm Paulo Navarro. Today is Friday, May 4th, 2012. Today's economic data, non-farm payrolls came in at 115,000. We're expecting 162,000. For the markets, the S&P 500 futures saw a high of the day of 1383.25 and a low of the day of 1361.5. We closed at 1362.5. Today's volume was 2 million contracts, a little higher than the 20-day moving average of 1.8 million contracts. For the Nasdaq futures, we saw a high of the day of 2679.5 and a low of the day of 2625.25. We closed at 2625.5. Today's volume was 220,000 contracts, a little higher than the 20-day moving average of 280,000 contracts. For the market internals, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline differential closed at negative 1,527. Nasdaq advanced decline differential closed at negative 1,497. There were 4 new 52-week highs for the S&P 500 and 9 new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. For the volatility, there were 340,000 contracts traded today, and the total premium was 41 million. For the dollar-weighted put-call ratio, in June we saw a 0.24 reading, which is very bearish, with 38% of the total premiums paid. For July, we saw a 0.33 reading, with 39% of the total premiums paid. Okay, here we have the daily chart for ES. As you can see here, we broke the 0.6 line on the daily chart. We see this big CI dip coming here down. We had a very big down day today after non-farm payrolls were worse than expected. So here, we had a very bad day. We're going to look at the weekly chart. You can see a big red candle for the weekly chart. Almost an outside bar, but not quite. So we're looking at the 0.6 line on the weekly for being some of the resistance there, support there. Right now it's at 1343, so that's the level we're watching as a support there. On the moving averages right now, we broke basically everything on the daily. We broke the 50, the 20, and the 10. So now watching the 0.6 on the weekly that we just mentioned, and the 1352 level that has been resistance for the last month. So those are the two levels I'll be keeping an eye on for resistance on ES. Here you can see the resistance on the weekly. It's gonna be around the 1343 level or the 20 moving average. That's gonna be an important resistance. As you can see here, very bad that we did not break the trend line that we've been watching for a long time now. We're making still lower highs, which is not positive for the long-term trend. So we're gonna have to come back and break that trend line if we want to see higher prices. For the gold chart, here we have the daily chart for gold futures. Today we had a down day to basically flat, as you can see, but still we find some resistance at the 20-day moving average. We continue to be in this range from the 1630 level, basically bouncing down to a 1670. So keep an eye on those levels for a break either to the upside to test 200-day moving average or to the downside to the 1600. On the weekly chart for gold, we are right now almost bouncing off the long-term trend line from 2009. So keep an eye on a break for that trend line, would be very important. For silver, here we have the daily chart for silver futures. As you can see, again, down day today, basically flat. It was kind of a good reversal, but still we need to point out that we made a lower low on silver. Still heading south, as you can see, making lower lows, lower highs. On the weekly chart, we broke the 100-day moving average and we were able to close above, below it. So it's important, again, we're watching to break the 30 level and close below it. And after that, we're watching at the 27, 28 level for a test on those levels. Last chart we're looking at, the VIX. Here's the daily chart for the VIX. We had an update today, 9% up. We broke the 100-day moving average, as we talked yesterday, that we were probably going to break the range that we've been into of the 100-day and the 50-day moving average. Still, we're testing basically the highs that we were of last month. Still a couple of points at the 20, 30 level. So keep an eye on those highs of May and April. Maybe break them and then going to the 23 level. So that's the levels we've been watching. On the weekly chart for the VIX, we had a big green candle, still lower than the last one, so still in the range that you could see here. We're watching to break the 22.28 level and maybe go to the 23.24 and get some volatility back in the market. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week.